KS Rack Station, huh? Virtual analog. I really wonder how all of this stuff works on the inside. What does this button do? Well, let's... Holy sh... As you might have, but probably haven't noticed, it's been a while since I've posted a video, and I wanted to start this one out thanking all my viewers and subscribers. I've set up this channel about a year ago, and I've been slowly but very steadily nearing 1000 subs, which I feel flattered about. Also, all the nice comments keep putting a smile onto my face almost every day, something that is extra valuable in these strange times we live in at the moment. So anyway, let's get this video going. The Access Virus is a VA-synth of legendary reputation that I am sure most of you guys adore too. As it's also still a pretty pricey affair, even in its oldest iterations, let's have a look at a far less known and much cheaper alternative. It seemed like Novation went full circle in 2013 when it released an updated version of the analog digital hybrid base station, originally released as their first proper synth in 1997. From that point on, they, like many other, followed the move back to proper analog technology, but for many years they were knee-deep in the virtual analog game, releasing one iteration after another of machines running their VA platform established with the Supernova in 1998. Before we go on with an overview of the VA-synths, let me just squeeze in some unashamed self-promotion here, because not too long ago I did a video on the original base station from 97. Still today, with the far superior base station 2, it's a very chunky little machine, so go check it out if you are into funky fat bass lines and lead sounds. Anyway, back to topic. So, as I've already said, Novation started their extensive VA era with the original Supernova released in 1998, which was followed up by essentially a desktop version called Nova and a keyboard version in the oddly named Nova Keyboard 2. In 2000, the Supernova received an enhanced update with the Supernova 2. It was also released as a keyboard version named Supernova 2 Keyboard. The first and the second generation keyboards look incredibly alike, and as far as I can tell, they can only be distinguished by the writing on the upper left corner. Next in line was the somewhat slimmed down version of the Supernova. The A station was a single HE rack unit, released in 2001. It received a keyboard version as well in the K station that also kind of was shrunk down to 25 keys from the full-size Supernova keyboards. The A station was followed by the KS series in 2002, which features the KS5 61-key keyboard, the KS4 49-key keyboard, as well as the star of today's video, the KS rack. After the KS series, Novation tried something new, well, kind of, because what they did was to squeeze Supernovas into MIDI controller keyboards, complete with USB audio interface and all. The very chunky X stations were released as 61, 49 and 25 key variants in 2004 and followed up by the much slimmer 49 and 25 key Xio or Xio synths. The Xio synths really look very unassuming but are very powerful synths in a very small package. Ironically, they are usually also the cheapest of all the synths in Novation's VA army. I've seen some go for well below 100 euros. As Xios don't have DIN MIDI imports, you will likely need a PC to use them, so they aren't something I'd recommend for the doorless crowd. In 2010 and 2012 respectively, Novation started one last attempt to milk their dead cow of a Synth Engine one last time and released the Ultra Nova and the very toy-looking yet surprisingly mean-sounding Mini Nova. So much about Novation's VA army. Let's have a closer look at today's synth, the KS rack. My unit, as you can see, seems to have taken quite a beating in its lifetime, but surprisingly it's otherwise in really great shape. All the knobs and faders still work perfectly well. The build quality of the KS rack is, compared to earlier and later Novation synths, really solid. Its chassis is made from metal and it's surprisingly heavy too. The KS features a pretty clean layout, most knobs, buttons and faders have only one function and there isn't a lot of menu diving going on. So once you grasp the control concept, it feels kind of intuitive and logical. Before you get to hear what it can do, let's take one last detour and have a look at the KS Synth Engine. Each of the 16 voices of the KS series is composed of up to 3 oscillators featuring all the traditional waveforms we all know and love, as well as some more exotic sample-based waveforms like organ or e-piano. These are mixed and sent through the VCF section that offers classic low, high and bandpass filter modes and has its own ADSR envelope as well as a nice filter overdrive feature. Next is the VCA section, again with ADSR envelope, and the FX section with 7 different basic effects that can all be used simultaneously. There are 2 LFOs that can be assigned to different parts of the Synth Engine, and last but not least, you can have and ring modulate the oscillators. So, all in all, classic analog polysynth stuff. It's not super versatile, but offers enough flexibility for a pretty large amount of different sounds. The KS also has a drum part with some PCM drum samples and is 4-part multi-timbral. As it only offers 16 voices, you will have to be pretty forward-thinking when planning to use all 4 parts simultaneously though. On paper it really doesn't sound too bad. Let's hear some examples. First, I've prepared some examples in a sequencer. We'll start out with the basic bass patch, fiddling around with the filters and the effects. Next, some nice and lush strings. The third example makes use of the internal Arpreggiator. The ARP has lots of different patterns and a few different modes, add some delay and well, hear for yourself. The fourth demo is actually in performance mode. The first part is set to drum mode and the second part is added later. the preset patches sound pretty trancey and dancey, but as Novations VA-synths seem to be backwards compatible, you can easily use hundreds if not thousands of patches created for the earlier models. Because there simply is too much to show with close to 300 factory patches, in the second part I randomly played around with some of the presets and later selected those which I feel showcase different sounds that can be achieved with the KS Synth Engine. The clean basic sound of the Synth Engine isn't too overwhelming, by the way, but most good patches hide this with lots of FX and modulation. Novation were in fact so proud of all of the ways everything could be tempo synced and modulated that they came up with the chill marketing term.
Hypersynth.
They even added a dedicated knob so you can select different syncing presets that tempo sync up different parameters of the Synth Engine. So, thank you once again for watching the video, and before I forget to mention it, the KS rack also has a built-in vocoder, which is pretty neat.
So, see you soon with another Synth Engine.